I was actually just thinking how most of it is because we are children of first generation immigrants, and sometimes that mentality comes from them actually experiencing situations where people have played on people's vulnerabilities or people's medical conditions. This might seem very sinister, we don't really want to go down that route, but there's a lot of witchcraft back home, which means that a lot of people will look for basically weaknesses, areas in someone's life where they are struggling in, and if it's a health condition, they will most likely use that to deteriorate the person further. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Fejiro and you are watching Fejiro Talks. Thank you for allowing me to fill up your little screen or your big ass screen. I don't know what kind of phone you be having. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that just randomly sprung into my mind yesterday. And I just basically wanted to talk about why Africans love to hide what they're going through, especially when it comes to health issues, illnesses, diseases. It's not obviously a comfortable subject for a lot of people, but it seems like, especially for the melanated people, we just seem to hide away from talking about things that require a little bit of vulnerability, and I'm confused. So I decided to just hop on YouTube, express some of my opinions about this, especially as a medical student, but also someone who just loves to talk, and get your opinions on this topic as well. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm also going to be doing a basic AF makeup routine, which basically involves eyebrows, mascara, lip, and I think highlight as well, to go absolutely nowhere because it's like a lockdown. Thank you, Bojo. Okay, let's get into the video and let's talk. First things first, I'm a realist, but after that, I actually am going to use this Maybelline Brow Drama. It's basically just a brow gel, and I think it's even too light for my eyebrows, but I basically just like using this to give my eyebrows structure. They don't really obey too much, so if I'm really going for a serious look, then I will put some gummy, which is some hair wax, on them to make them a lot more slick, because they don't respect this, but it looks good for camera purposes. So the first thing I actually wanted to talk about is how there's kind of this wave of new YouTubers coming out and creating content about the experiences that they've gone through when it comes to having chronic or acute conditions. And it's kind of more noticeable in the Black community that these people come online and they say, you know, that parents are not in support of them releasing content that actually shows that vulnerable side of themselves. And it got me thinking, because my parents are exactly the same, like me releasing content about anything that I've gone through that speaks volumes about a weakness or a vulnerability of mine. It's just something that they just don't want to see on my platform. And I just had to think about this for a second, because it mostly is coming from first generation immigrants. I'm gonna go in with the Curl Elevation Mascara from Makeup Revolution. Most of my makeup products are Makeup Revolution because they are sick, by the way. Anyway, I was actually just thinking how most of it is because we are children of first generation immigrants, and sometimes that mentality comes from them actually experiencing situations where people have played on people's vulnerabilities or people's medical conditions. This might seem very sinister, we don't really want to go down that route, but there's a lot of witchcraft back home, which means that a lot of people will look for basically weaknesses, areas in someone's life where they are struggling in, and if it's a health condition, they will most likely use that to deteriorate the person further. This is real. This is not made up. It's not fiction. A lot of people don't tell their family members in Nigeria about what they're struggling or what they're facing or any health difficulties that they're going through, because they know that their family member is doing witchcraft on them. But I feel like it's that mentality of don't tell them because the evil eye is watching followed us into England, and it's done us more harm than good. I could see why they're worried for people to be as vulnerable or as open as we are now in our generation. But then it's also inhibited us because we've come to westernized culture where, you know, I don't want to say it, but these people don't really do witchcraft as much as we do back home. Not we, as in me, as in a part of them. No, We've come into the westernized civilization and they don't really engage in those sort of activities, nor are most of them really aware of all these things that actually occur in the spiritual realm. So for us, it's kind of inhibitory to say that we're not going to be as open, or we're not going to voice out our concerns when it comes to our health conditions, because it makes us have this faux strength, because we don't actually talk. We don't talk about these things. I don't know if this is just my thoughts or my opinions, but it kind of comes into play in the hospitals, where some of us actually think, you know, the doctors are the ones that, you know, are being racist against our medical treatments. Sometimes it is, you know, racism is prevalent, and it's in most communities. Which I'm not trying to downplay it, but I am also trying to highlight the fact that it might be because of that faux strength. It might be because of the fact that we are not open as a community, we are not open as a culture, that doctors find it hard to even tell or to decipher when somebody is in pain or when they're not in pain, because we don't tend to voice it. We don't tend to open up about it. We are mostly told to keep it into the internal affairs of the family. Then we actually are not comfortable enough to tell people in positions of authority to help us out with the conditions that we are facing. And it just grates me a lot, because sometimes we do put it down to racism, when in fact we should actually take some of the blame ourselves and become more vulnerable, more open. Lastly, in this makeup tingy-majiggy, I'm just going to use some highlight. Normally I'd prime my face beforehand, but I'm actually not heading anywhere. I don't use actual highlight from highlighter palettes. I'll just use eyeshadow because I'm trying to be cheapskate. Cool. But this is the BH Cosmetics Color Festival 20 color shadow palette, and I'm literally just going in with the shade that's called Fringe. Tapping it to my brush, patting it on. See, I'm just gonna put it into this C corner as well, bridge of the nose, and just roughly go into the brow bone area. I'm gonna be using some NYX lip gloss to just pull the look together, and I'm gonna go in with two shades. The first is called Ginger Snap and the second is called Madeline, and I only use these two because they bang. But yes, that's actually my 2 pence on the issue. I just feel like a lot of us should get into the space of vulnerability a lot more, and I will release a video about my health condition and some of the tips that I want a lot of young people going into university to know about, because it is a topic that people are not, you know, comfortable talking about, and I feel like we should definitely break that barrier at this age. So wait on that video. But without further ado, I'm just gonna finish this with some Ginger Snap, and this smells so nice, guys, and some Madeline. You can't really notice the Madeline, not gonna lie, but she there. I'm gonna put my glasses and see what kind of a mess I've made. Oh, there's possibly no difference between the before and the after, but I can see it. I hope you guys have just liked this sit down and talk with me. I would love to see you guys on my next video. Please do make sure that you give this a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm trying to diversify the types of content, so you might see more short content as well as more longer pieces of content as well. So let me know which type you actually prefer, and I will get to catering that to you guys. Have a lovely day wherever you are, and I'm wishing you all the best. Bye.